My oh my, we're with a nice treat today. Welcome back everyone, this is Stevo here, aka Running Englishman. Simply here to inspire you to be the best and fittest version of yourself. So if I can do it, I know that you can too. So today you're in for a right treat. I've come to a proper nice destination, just a bit down the road from where we live. It's one of the best looking places you'll find. And I'm going to be taking a little aerobic run around here today. And the perfect thing to talk about is what aerobic runs are, what they include, why they're so important, and why you should not neglect doing your aerobic runs too. Okay, so don't go anywhere, let's talk about it. So, as I just mentioned, it's an absolutely cracking place to run. I found an absolute beauty here. I've walked around it before, I've never ran around it, so what a perfect day to try and explain how aerobic run should work, and I'm going to let you know how I feel on the way around and show you if I'm truly in an aerobic base and what it's all about. So, what exactly is an aerobic run and why is it so important? So, aerobic run is the one that you want to do the majority of your running at. For you to be able to build the base and the foundation for every run you do, and working on this aerobic base will set you up nicely for any future runs, whether that's your 5k sort of record you want to break, whether you want to do a half marathon or a marathon. Without building this base up by doing these aerobic runs, you're going to struggle to improve. So that's why they're super important. So whilst doing these aerobic runs, there's different changes happening in your body that's compared to when you're doing faster runs. You have some slow twitch muscle fibers, and we have fast twitch. The slow twitch ones obviously are the ones that are worked when you run at a lower intensity, okay? What happens with building these slow twitch muscle fibers, what happens with the changes is that you make them more efficient to delivering oxygen, blood around the body during the low runs. And over time, as you keep doing this, your body get more efficient at sending the oxygen to your muscles, and you'll be able to run faster and faster at a lower rate. Okay, that's why it's so important. So whilst activating the slow twitch muscle fibers, they will strengthen and be more powerful each time you do it. It gives them plenty of time to recover because of the low intensity run that you're doing. So over time, you become an absolute diesel engine at doing your long runs. It's quite out today, it's really hot. Well, for England, it's like, I don't know, 20 odd degrees. Don't worry, I've got my suntan lotion on. You ever seen legs this white before? The sun rebounds off them and burns anyone in sight. Can't help it. Tell you something, there could be worse places to run, couldn't there? What a cracking place. Okay, so another essential thing that's happening in the body whilst you're doing these slow runs is that your body is running off of its own fat. All right? You've got fat, no matter how skinny you are, you've got fat that lets you run for days and days and days if you can get it working properly. Okay? If you're going too fast on these, you're using up carbohydrates and the food that you've eaten to fuel your body, which can run out. So the more efficient you can get at running these slow efforts at, the longer you can go in a race using your fat, and the better your results are going to be. Common sense, really. next thing you need to know, if you don't know this already, is the intensity to run. That's a nice way to go. Is the intensity to run these runs at. So there's a bit of confusion there because people think they're running slow enough for these and they usually are not. I was one of those people. I have regrets about my running, how I started, because I was doing them too fast, and I'll explain later on how that affected me. But if you're doing the Maffetone method or some low heart rate training, you'll know what it feels like, because they're definitely low enough to keep you in the aerobic zone that you want to be in. Me recently, I've been working out my own sort of zones to run at, and I think I've found my sweet spot of around 150 beats per minute on the heart. Okay, if you haven't considered working out your zones yet, I suggest it's a good idea for you to do. Okay, once you've got this, you can really maximise your training, and mine's really kicked on recently. Now I found my right aerobic zone to run in. You don't want to be ignoring this feature of running. It's got to be done. But there is some ways, if you ain't got the watch, you ain't got all the gear to work out your zones and bits, there's a few ways you can go out and just make sure you're staying in. But you should sort of be how I am right now. I'm not sort of gasping for breath. Everything's quite easy. I'm able to talk. Oh, lovely. I'm able to talk to the camera and my friends, have a nice conversational run around. That's when you know you're truly staying in conversational zone. I'm getting a bit out of breath because we've got hills here. But generally, I'm keeping my heart around 135 at the minute. And that just feels good. That feels nice for me to run around with. I'll see how I feel in a minute when I get off this big hill. So now if you don't have loads of fancy gear and all the watch and everything to do your zones, there are ways to make sure that you are running the aerobic zone. And that's basically doing it by perceived exertion. Okay, so some people don't like to run with all the watches and gear like that. So what we're going to do is make sure, I'll try and show an example of this today really. I'm keeping it low. It's a little bit hilly, a little bit hard for me to try and make this work really well. But if your breath's not getting deep and out of control, if you're able to talk like I am to the camera right now, and so you can go around with a friend, you can talk the whole way, comfortable. There's a few other ways doing a talk test, okay? You can count 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125. If you can count like that without losing breath at the end, you're in the aerobic zone. Keep doing that, you're onto a winner. Now, being able to have a discipline to stay in that right sort of area is a whole different story, okay? This is the problem, I think. People think it's so slow that it's no benefit to them, but it actually is. It's worth doing. You want to do about 80% of your runs in that aerobic zone, okay? I've learned the hard way over my short running career. I used to run fast all the time where I could, every time. When I come around to doing a half marathon, I was dead. I did it in like just under 2 hours, which I was happy with. But my heart rate was really high and didn't realise how much better I could have done. So since looking into running more and getting the base built properly by doing the math method and what I'm doing now, my times have plummeted really. I've done 3 or 4 now, I'm down to about 145 on the half marathons. I know it's not great, but I feel like it's going in the right direction now. So the proof's there to build the base, okay? Because I spent all my time running fast, weren't getting better, just getting more tired, and I didn't feel like running anymore. So look at this place. Nice steady breathing. Go up hills, adjust as you need to. If you start getting heavy breathing, slow yourself down. You can always keep yourself in the aerobic zone, okay? It's not too hard a thing to do. My run, it's not massive today, but breathing's not heavy. I'm able to talk, okay? And this takes a bit of getting used to. As I say, the discipline's a big thing. If your runs aren't a lot like this for quite a lot of the time, then I just really suggest you have a look at your running routine, okay? There's a lot of people out there like me at the start where you just running and trying to be fast every time, knocking seconds off here and there. But the true results come once you've built this space. Think about it as like a foundation for a house. Once you've laid a big, thick foundation, the bigger the house you can put on top of it when the time comes. I think that's a good thing to remember. So my breath's nice and steady, look. I'm able to talk. If I had a friend here, I could talk with him all the way around. My heart's at like 140. Sometimes I allow myself to go to around the 150 area on a flatter course when it's not so hot. But I'm doing this for the sake of the video today. And what a lovely place to do it. So, I think I've kept it short today. It's more of a scenic one than anything, but as I say, you don't build your base yet, you don't work on your aerobic system, start now. I'm trying to make this channel that suits for everyone, you know. I've got the math method, I've got my own things I'm doing now. Trying to make it friendly for everyone, to give advice that I've found out along the way. That's what the journey is all about. So, yeah, if you're not hit the red button yet, please consider subscribing. I've got plenty of content to come, I'm really enjoying the journey. I've got Instagram and Facebook and all these things. The Running Englishman, if you want to have a search up. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to go find my family, wherever they are. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the scenery. Okay, see you again. Stevo.